All right, I wanted to wait a second, make sure everyone was joining. Welcome. A little bit of love here from Apollo, who is feeling better. I'm going to put him down. Welcome again to the weekly collective reading. It's great to see everybody. Thanks for choosing a great special topic this week. It's about clearing out any stuck energy or any karmic sort of lessons that are possibly impeding or slowing down progress. I periodically put this out there as a topic, and I always like it when it comes back. So thank you so much. Our basically itinerary today is as follows. We're going to start off with channeled messages. This is dream interpretation, spirit speaking straight through sort of clairvoyance. Then we'll get into a 7-day forecast. We'll look at the elements. Then we'll get into that special topic. One change this week, unfortunately, is I'm no longer going to be using the sound bath because YouTube flagged it as copyrighted sound, even though I'm creating it in real time. So we'll see. I may just sort of rethink what that latter portion will be. And today we'll try some different things. And it basically gives us a chance to shake it up and try new approaches. I think innovation is part of growth anyway. And that's one of the messages that came through as well. All right, let's get into those channel messages first and foremost. And by the way, I'll be gifting some memberships today right after probably the elemental forecast. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Okay, so here we go. The first one was kind of interesting because, and you know what, it makes a lot of sense now because I found myself in a sort of school environment where there was an essay test, which my background is English and journalism, so I always loved essay tests because I did well with them, but I know not everybody does. And I was seeing somebody that was struggling. It was interesting because when it started off, it just looked like a questionnaire, and I saw the person just sitting there freezing. And then at the end, I saw that they were looking at the key, the answer key. The questions weren't there. And they went to the teacher, and she said, "Why don't you speak up, or why don't you write something?" And they gave this person a second chance and said, "Just tell me about you." So for those of you that are applying for a job, for those of you that are applying for a scholarship, trying to get to school, I know we're in graduation period, but it could apply for some of you. This is really about not overthinking that part of it because people just kind of want to get to know you. It is not about the eloquence. It's about it's about how it connects on a heart level. So just speaking clearly and passionately is going to be better than using big words. Big words can sometimes confuse or obscure the bigger picture. I had an English teacher who taught me this back in, I don't know, it was like the 10th grade maybe, and said if there's a way to say it clearer and simpler, do it because it's going to reach a larger audience. So don't worry about how fancy it is. This is also just about like throat chakra opening, right? This is why the Queen of Swords is featured here. So this could also be just stating your intention or your desire if you want to ask someone out or if you want to just talk about something important. Sometimes we just freeze up because we're constantly going through all of these edits and revisions in our head. Just be the channel, be present, authentic, concise, less is more. So that's my advice there. And it was very telling that the key, basically, which is the answer key, was right there in front of the student. So the answer is right in front of you. Spirit couldn't be more direct than to basically show me the answer key there. I didn't see the answers, but I just saw that it was a key and instead of being questions. So there you go. Hopefully that resonates for many of you, and just don't second guess your intuition or your ability to communicate. I think that's the main thing. Speak from the heart. The next thing was kind of interesting, and second week in the row that I've put the Chariot here in the channeled messages because this one is about, again, people trying to take the reins or push back on change or control. So this, for many of you, could just be like in your day-to-day relationships. It could be at work too, but there was a new idea, a new approach coming through, and it seemed like the other person was combatant. They were argumentative, and they didn't want to sort of let you even finish speaking. So a lot of communication energy coming forth for the next 7 days. What I'd love for you to do is to hold your ground. It can be as simple as, I heard you out, let me finish too, or this is my opportunity to present this, please don't interrupt. Good speakers will kind of say, or there'll be time for questions later. Let me complete my train of thought. However, you need to re-establish and pull back the microphone and say, I'm not finished. I think it's important to do that. Parents do it, teachers do it, bosses do it. You can do it as well. And people aren't always used to that assertive approach, but I'm encouraging you to be assertive this week if you need to. Don't be combatant. Just say, I'm not finished. Simple, like that. And if you're noticing that someone is very, very, it's almost like they're so used to something being a certain way that they couldn't imagine it another way, remind them that, like, if we're constantly in that energy of sameness, of being a lens looking towards the past, we can't innovate, we can't change, we can't grow. So try to be the voice of reason this week. Communication, by and large, is one of the biggest things that came through. All right, so let's get a little bit more granular and take a look at the 7-day forecast. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, turn the camera down, and let's get started. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully well. Good to see you. I know I was a little bit tired this morning. Okay, so close your eyes, focus on the next week, clear out any thoughts. Let's just let spirit come through. Okay, let's get started with the energy for today, this Sunday. We have the King of Wands, pretty auspicious actually, and fire breather. Notice that? So we're going back into using the throat chakra and just the power and the passion coming through on this King of Wands. Usually not a card of communication, right? That's usually the King of Swords. He's communicating his ideas though. He's conveying the ideas. And there are different ways to communicate. This will actually help us with what we were talking about earlier. Show it. If you can't always put it into words, point to a real life example, create a prototype, illustrate, or somehow kind of demonstrate it. It can also just be that actions speak louder than words. It's another way of communicating. So lead by example, put that energy out there, whatever it is you're trying to do, and just basically embody what it is that you want to create. And this card shows you that you are the best person to do just that. And sometimes we feel like, who am I? Who am I to say this or do this? You're the channel, the vehicle, the one that's basically going to bring it to fruition. So you're supposed to kind of take that next step. Don't worry about it too much. This card, by the way, is also one of management. So if you're looking at managing your affairs, if you want to focus a little bit on getting organized, if you're like me and you might do some work on the weekend, it's a great day to get things done, okay? Let's look at the beginning of the week. And this is, if there was an equivalent of being tongue-tied for your head, this is what it would be. So we have Medusa coming through here on the 5 of Wands. And sometimes we feel like we're stuck. So in mythology, of course, she turned people to stone because I actually think she's kind of... She was a beautiful woman that was kind of put through this punishment for no reason. It was a form of protection, but it was also punishment. I still think Medusa is kind of beautiful sometimes in illustrations, but the look of her could turn people to stones, her eyes basically as well. So when we're looking at your thoughts, you might be putting too much energy into one thing that is causing you to put the brakes on something, or you get frozen. And that's what I saw. The person was just sitting there at the table not writing in the dream. And so inaction is the only guaranteed way to not see progress or to fail. So if you don't try, you automatically will not know that it's basically, I don't want to call it failure, but it's the opposite of progress. So inaction equals stagnation. We don't want that. It's better to take a chance and to make an attempt and a first step and work at it. And this is basically saying, don't get mired down in all of the details of being a perfectionist, etc. Just continue to allow the wheels of motion and progress to start to spin, okay? Competition is usually present in the 5 of Wands, and that also creates the sort of stagnation that this card is accurately portraying. So I'll pull the traditional one while we're talking, but what happens sometimes is if you're in an environment where people encourage people to compete, and there's not a lot of leadership, and it basically is just people trying to vie for the sunlight. It's not a lot of fun. So this could also be a wake-up call to find a better environment where everybody can find a path to success. Now, the next one in the suit is the Six of Wands. So I like to remind people with this that you might have to step into that energy of leadership in order to bring a change. So here's your traditional one. So you can see the struggle. Everyone's trying to get ahead, but no one really is. And that can kind of do things to your perception of yourself and what's possible. I think it has more to do with the environment or the people around you than you. So maybe that's the gift of that card, is just reminding you not to get in your headspace too much. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at Tuesday. Things start to move, literally. The Six of Swords is a card of traveling and movement. So it's a good day to do both. If you need to take a trip, if you need to send an email, if you need to have a communication with someone from another time zone, this is the time to do it. It's also indicative of letting go. And so with the message today being about clearing karma and stuck energy, sweeping the soul is how I think I originally put it. This is where you finally say, I think I'm done with that. I'm done with the anger. I'm done with the resentment. I'm done with the frustration. I'm done with the lesson. And in doing so, it's kind of like she's being lifted up by balloons here. In this case, it's the birds. But they're saying, let's move on to something new. So it's finally time for some of you just to kind of like release something, let go, and allow something bigger, better, and brighter to come through. Also, she's getting a perspective, like distance. So sometimes we have to take a break or literally travel a little bit to see the bigger picture. And that definitely is coming through with this illustration, okay? Tuesday's a breakthrough. That's a way to put this after the stagnation of Monday. Now we get a really great card here. Creative energy coming through in the midweek, passion, possibly good relationship energy. So on Wednesday, people are starting to connect even more with your passion, your energy, your charisma. It's a good day for meetings. It's a great day for dates. It's a good time to spend with family. And creatively and intuitively, you're very much connected. So also a very productive day. All the queens can be leaders, but the Queen of Cups is one of the best ones because she leads with compassion, something we don't see a lot in this world anymore, right? It's also encouraging you to lead with compassion. I was thinking about this morning as I was getting ready. You know, if there's someone in your life that's really that betrays you or upsets you and you've known them for a long time, the compassionate thing to do is just to check in, see what it's about, maybe give them a one and done pass on that, but show them that you're maybe more forgiving than they would be. It's not always easy though. Sometimes you have to kind of like weigh it out, but there may be a test this week to the levels of your compassion. Parents know this and they understand this. Your children test you. But you know what I'm talking about, where it's unconditional love and sometimes you'll let someone get away with more. But I think there's a combination this week where we have the Chariot and we have this compassion card. So yes, but there's a line in the sand and you have to remind people you don't get to cross that too many times. This is one and done. So if somebody does something and you feel like you need to kind of convey that, I'm also picking up on that. It was crossing my mind even before the reading. Okay, as we look at Thursday, this is an interesting Five of Cups. I love the reinterpretations in this particular deck. So Five of Cups is always a chance for you to look at the silver lining and to let go of something that didn't work out the way you wanted to. Oftentimes this comes on the heels of a disappointment, a setback, a failure, and it's basically saying that didn't work, but one, look how much you've gained experience-wise, and two, pay attention to the people that were always there for you and the opportunities that are now present. What are your blessings today, and how can you take the learnings and apply them to that? The two cups behind this person can be partnership, love, support, so someone had your back. And it can also just remind you that someone in the future will see your worth even if these other people or other opportunities didn't. Can't cry over the spilled milk, but you can learn like what happened and focus less on the optics. Someone once was like, what do you mean by optics? Literally, it's people looking at you. It's you being in the public eye. And this is a great example, optics being the eye. So in this situation, it's only as good or bad as you frame it up to be. So if you make something to be the end of the world, it's going to feel really intense. If you say that was not fun, I don't want to repeat it, but I'm going to now focus on something bigger, better, brighter, then you start to open up new opportunities. You feel better almost immediately. So it's reframing the narrative a bit so you can see that. Thursday may be a day where you have to just turn away from something that is not working. We're getting a little bit of an indication of that. Probably you get an idea of what it is on Monday, but it may take you until the latter part of the week to really say, all right, enough is enough. Okay? And this is your opportunity also to be grateful for the things that are going well as well. Okay, Friday. Let's see what's on deck here for Friday. A chance to revise, a chance to put the pen to paper and write, a chance to really just speak your mind. So that getting out of your headspace and just speaking, this is the knight, well, not the knight, this is the Page of Swords in reverse. So one way you can do this or get more used to this is through journaling and, or just even, journaling is almost ideal. That's the thing that's coming through here. Maybe just for a week. I know some of you are like, I don't like writing. Treat it like the dream journal where it can just be bullet points. I think sometimes we have this preconceived idea that has to be like Jane Austen and you're writing all of these things in the journal. It doesn't have to be that way. It can literally be like my slides where I have bullets. That's what I do for my dreams. I'm like argument, some lack of ability to move forward with something new, hold your ground. Like that would be my summary of that dream. Or you were taking a test, the key was there, you wrote nothing. That's what got me back to my dream. It's not some long paragraph. So just write down some thoughts there, like whatever it is you're trying to do. Slowly build out the outline as the week goes. And by the end of the week, you may have a sentence or a paragraph or a draft of something, but it all begins with bullet points. So get those bullet points in action. And when it comes to communication, yes and no are complete sentences. So you can get a lot done in very few words, or that's not right, or let's do this. Like just keep the communication brief and active. Active is the key. Making sure that whatever you're doing is moving the action forward, is using a verb, is not in a passive sort of tense. And it's okay, as I drop the cards, it's okay to say no. So if you need to say no, please do. All right, let's focus now on the energy of Saturday. So we have you basically getting things done. It's a very productive day. So 8 of Pentacles, it can be a card of learning. It can also be a card where you're reading and researching. It is a card where, or it's a day here as well, where your ability to kind of like expand your knowledge and consciousness is very much, it's at your footstep if you want it to be. It's at your front door. One thing that I would say here, if there is an email, if there is a text, if there is a communication that you want to do, this is also a great day to basically put that into motion. Talk about your money, look at your money, balance your checkbook as well. That's something that you can do this day. Look at this little spider web in the corner. This is a reminder here that you weave your own destiny. And a lot of times we're kind of bringing this back into karma for a moment. You may look at your parents or grandparents and think, my family has bad luck with X, Y, or Z. Your narrative is different. You get to kind of sweep that. It's like the cobwebs. You're going to sweep the cobwebs out and say, that was their story. This is my story. So basically flip the script and try something different. You're not your parents. Your parents brought you into this planet, but sometimes they're just like that, sort of like doorway or pathway. They also kind of like affect or frame up your initial experiences, but what you do after that, that's up to you. So rewrite it. We've got another card. Now we have the Knight. So we have the Page here, we have the Knight here. Things are starting to move forward. There's a chance as we're looking at next Sunday for you to decide, do I still like this path or do I want to try something different? You're at the wheel on this and you basically get to decide if you want to continue. With Swords, it's more about like, are you feeling inspired? Are you feeling like you also have a voice? And if you don't, this may not be the best path for you. Again, a second chance for you to push forward a message. Speaking up is really important this week. Let's look at highlights and challenges, and then we'll move on to the elements. So highlights this week. Today is a great day for getting organized. I think midweek you have a great chance to connect with others. So those are two of the best days. Productivity-wise, I think next Saturday looks really optimal. The biggest challenge, there are two challenges this week. It would be Monday and Thursday. Monday, kind of like getting past sort of stagnation in thoughts, and then on Thursday, seeing the silver lining. Okay? All right, let me pick up these cards that fell down, and then we're going to take a look. I'm going to pick up these cards, and then we're going to look at the elemental forecast. Okay, and this one fell down like 3 times, so I want to look at this one for a second before we move forward. So this is like a bonus card for the week ahead. Discipline. So I talked a little bit about the journaling approach. This is definitely bringing that forth, and it's saying like starting something new and keeping at it, whether it's writing or it's something else with your health, could be really beneficial. And that card literally flung off the table next to me, so and it wouldn't stay on the table. So we'll take that message to heart. Okay, let's go ahead now and move into an elemental forecast. This is the only part of today that is going to be specific to the signs. Everything else is for everybody that came through here. So let me choose a deck for that, then we'll move on. Actually, let's go for a different one. Hold on. Okay, fire, earth, air, and water. All right, let's begin with my fire signs out there first. We're going to look at Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We have the King of Pentacles coming through. This is a really good card to connect you to your power when it comes to money and resources. If you need it, ask. Whenever we get a court card with money attached to it, it's basically saying ask. Not only that, but also roll up your sleeves. This is an entrepreneurial card. So if there's something that you want to see done or get to the finish line, we have the boss card here with the King of Wands. Now we have the accountant card here, or the CFO card here, saying make sure that the money is there, make sure that the timelines make sense, make sure that this is what you want, and you can see it through. So it's a good time to get connected to your money. It's a great time for business in general. This is also connected to home improvements, to finding a house or an apartment, to basically being able to get what you need, get what you want. This is typically a card that shows one being satisfied. Like in the traditional illustration, there's vines, there's wine, there's food, there's abundance. So you're connecting with that new way of thinking, which is you are worthy, you are capable, and this is the time to make it happen, okay? It's a really auspicious card for business, for home, for life in general. So it's a good week for my fire signs out there. Ground yourself in what it is that you're trying to do, since we have Earth coming through. So make sure that you're also taking something and bringing action and basically resources to meet it. So what are you doing to sort of like nurture that and bring it to the next level? Because this is like divine masculine. So there you go. Good week ahead for fire signs. Moving from fire to earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We still see movement for you. Actually, for many of you, you may do more sort of like footwork this week, researching, going to the library, talking to people, going between things. It's not as much in the developmental stages as it would be if there was a page card. This is more about trying to get people to buy in. So it feels like it's done, something that you might be working on. You're just trying to connect the dots. This is also about, we have this bull or the ox on the front here, but being bullish about the future with your own sort of potential. So you have to believe in yourself. This is a self-confidence card, believe it or not. Believe it. But you have to, I'm not going to want to buy into what it is that you're trying to sell if you're not confident, if you're not secure, if you're not sure. So whatever you need to feel more secure and more certain, is going to bring you closer to your sort of finish line here. And that's what the Prince of Pentacles is saying. It's an upright card. Take the reins and hold them, and don't let someone else sort of step in. I remember, I mean, thank goodness I'm not in corporate work anymore, but I do remember in meetings, there would be people that didn't have a lot to say but spoke a lot or enjoyed interrupting. I mean, there's still people in my day-to-day life that interrupt. They don't listen to everything that you're saying, or they just interject and they're not adding a lot. So I do think in communication this week, it's important to make sure that everybody's bringing value. And if something's distracting, to table it, to say, let's talk about it later, or that's not related to this. Please hold that for another time. And just be strong. A lot of strong throat chakra energy keeps coming through for today. And I want you to be able to move forward and have others see your value. And sometimes that means speaking up, okay? All right. But a great week for progress as well for these last two groups of elements. Let's go ahead and move on to the air signs. We have the Seven of Cups. Don't overthink it. This could also be those of you that are feeling frozen or uncertain, because I saw the people just sitting at the desk, not taking the pen to paper and writing. Nowadays, I'm sure it would just be keyboarding. But anyway, Seven of Cups, overthinking, having too many options on the table, possibly sometimes getting indecisive because there may be no clear, surefire way to sort of ensure success. You know, in life, risk is always a component of, you know, starting something new. So you just have to assess the risk and say, you know what, I've done all the work that I can. This is what I feel passionate about. Let's move forward on it. And passion is a part of this. So we see someone in there excited or connected to one of those ideas or one of those paths. Maybe it's just you getting excited about it. I would follow that rather than worrying about all of the, you know, possible things that could go wrong, etc. You have to just follow your heart this week. Okay? Let's move on to water. Oh, wait, one last thing with this. You can ask questions. So air, if you're not clear on something, this is an inquisitive, a curious, and a researching card too. So you can always clear things up by asking a question. Now let's move on to water. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, awakening is the name of the game this week. And cutting those cords there. So we see the title on this card is interference. And I've been talking about someone possibly interrupting or interfering. So you're going to cut the cords. But this is also typically a card that shows someone that's blindfolded. So there may be something that you are faced with, like you're forced to look at it, whether you like to or not. Someone shows their true colors, something pops up, something just doesn't work out the way you wanted it to. And now you see something for what it truly is. It's a gift in and of itself, yet it may be frustrating. Try to embrace it on the gift side, which is, at least I know, and now I can move forward with that sense of clarity and empowerment. If you don't understand something, very much like what I just talked about with the air signs, it's important to ask and to figure it out. Eight of Swords reversed is not sort of just saying, well, you know, I don't need to know, or it's not important. No, it's okay. So get to the heart of the matter, see things as they are, and then decide what you want to do about it. I really think it's just time to face something that you've maybe been sweeping under the rug. And in doing so, that's going to allow you to then move down the path without fear, doubt, or uncertainty. Okay. Before I get into the next portion of the reading, I said I was going to gift a membership, so I'm going to do that right now. You don't have to do anything special, I think, other than subscribe, and you will know because you will be informed. You don't have to do anything. Sorry, poor Dakota gets that question all the time. So basically, it'll just inform you. So let me gift the memberships right now. This will be the last time I can do it this week, I believe, or this month rather. So let's see here. Yes, I have 5 more. All right. So to those that received it, congratulations. To everybody else, I do that twice per month. And thanks to everybody in chat that's also been gifting memberships and just participating. I appreciate it. All right. So yes, right now it's Lee, Karen, Enzo, and Zanoni that you guys should have it. Congrats. Okay, let's get into the special topic for today, sweeping the soul clean. We're going to do some basically some karmic cleaning and help you see what you need to see. So welcome everybody, good to see you. Let me see which deck I want to choose for this. Thanks to everybody in chat. I do appreciate that. All right, let's begin with the catalyst energy. Today's catalyst, I had to look twice. I'm like, yeah, it said bones or bone here. So this is the energy of death and rebirth coming through for sure. Change, action, and movement, of course, is going to be personified by the death card, and this is just a different version of that. Death card in reverse would be basically sometimes fearing change, dragging your feet a bit or your heels a bit when you're in the face of some sort of different change, metamorphosis, or opportunity. So don't be afraid. Change is underway, and change is the way, right? The interesting thing on this one too is we're looking at the bones here. It's almost like what an archaeologist has to do, which is to sort of like reassemble things. And so you may also be in this moment of like, it's not just renewal, but it's reorganization. So when an archaeologist finds bones at a site, they have to extract them from the rocks, dust them off, figure out how the spine is connected, slowly put them all back together, and figure out what they're looking at. So some of you may be coming back from a period, well, it can represent something positive like graduation, where it's sort of like, now what? How do I take all of these pieces and put them together to create the next step of the journey? For some of you, it could be picking up the pieces after a relationship. Maybe you had a very long relationship and the person, divorced you or moved on. Maybe someone, you might be, those of you that are mourning the loss of someone, it all feels like that sort of, what's next? What's the next chapter? And there's no wrong answer. Take your time to map it out. That's the piece that we don't always see between a discovery and then, like, if something's in the museum, there's a mapping out and organization period. And I feel like you may be in the throes of that this week. So definitely take time. One thing that I was talking about at a special event that I went to yesterday, I was kind of like looking at very, very successful people that didn't go to college. They just skipped straight to their path because they were very clear on it. So sometimes we see this with musicians, athletes, actors, or even just back in the day, like Steve Jobs dropped out after, I think, a semester, or 2 or 3 semesters of school. I think the same thing with Bill Gates, if we're looking at competing companies. They didn't go all the way through college. Very intelligent people. They were like, no, I can do something else besides this. And then we look at some people like Taylor Swift, just graduated high school. That's it. But she's insanely intelligent and a really good business person. These are people that just knew their path and followed their own sort of road. So you don't have to do a pre-described or predetermined sort of path in front of you. Whatever it is, getting married, going to college, doing certain things that your parents did. There may be something that you need or want to do, and it's time for you to create your own path. And if you've been through all of that and you still want to do something different, good. This is life. Life is just about continuing to reinvent yourself, pick up the bones, put them together, find a new pattern in front of you. So This is not, this is uncharted. I feel like there's something uncharted in what's in front of you, and embrace that, okay? All right. Now let's look at the centermost card. All right. So we have the Six of Wands, success. Remember that my dream, this basically set the tone for today, which is the key is right in front of you. Whether you want to see that as the skeleton key or the key to the test or whatever it is, you basically have the answer and the path towards success, right? This is very unusual for the Six of Wands because normally it's like riding on a horse and everyone's following you, and this person has their head in the clouds. So I think that your key to success this week is something unexplored or unseen, again, with your friends, your family, your colleagues. So this is really about following through on your ideas. Remember, King of Wands was the energy for today. So the Six of Wands is taking that idea and seeing it through. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be you, right? It's a good week for you. This is your, also, like, at least within this next 7-day period, because we're looking at 7 days at a time. Every day I do this. You're going to land on your feet. You're going to be successful. Enter into Monday thinking that, like, let's make this a good week. I think that's also key to success. Let me take a quick drink and then we'll talk about the King of Cups. Okay. King of Cups, here we go. Your passion is your key as well. And it's time to be happy. This is what this is saying. For those of you that have put on the back burner your own happiness, your own fulfillment, whatever it is, for whatever reason it might be, where maybe for some of you it was, taking some time off to take care of your family, or taking some time off to take care of someone else, or maybe you felt like you needed to pull your energy back so someone else could succeed. Now we have like this big star energy moment coming through, and the King of Cups is helping you connect to that. Be what authentically and passionately sort of makes you happy. Fulfillment begins within. So I think one of the separating or definitive sort of things that people come to my channel for is that we don't focus just on love. I don't ignore it, but I do believe that your ability to find happiness, stability, fulfillment, success, growth, etc. You hold the key. It's not something where you're beholden to another individual to quote unquote be complete. They can enhance the experience, but they don't necessarily complete you. You are complete as is. King of Cups is saying that. Love yourself, know yourself, and accept people in your life that have that unconditional love and nothing less. Don't settle for less. That's really what this guy is coming through and saying. We have Poseidon energy here, which is let your heart lead the way. And I really love that. I think that's the key thing here. Yes, it's a great time for love and relationships if you're looking for it. Yes, it could be a water sign. But the bigger message here is to love yourself unconditionally. Actually, he has a little Pisces pendant as well. But love yourself unconditionally. Follow your heart. Know that that is leading you to success. Like energy attracts like energy, and you don't have to chase after things right now. Let things come to you. This is a period where you've earned this opportunity for success and happiness. Okay. The deep past is summing up what many of you need in this moment. By the way, we'll take a moment here just to look. I do see the 10 of Cups. We have a King of Cups. We have the 10 of Pentacles here hidden under the mic, which thankfully is working here. But yes, relationship energy is a part of this, but I just want to focus on everything. We'll take it card by card. All right. The Knight of Cups. This is your chance to change direction if you need to. If you don't like how you feel in a situation. When I look back at things that I wished that I could have changed a little bit, there was a job once that only lasted maybe 6 or 8 months where I knew the minute that I stepped in that the place was a mismatch, but I needed a job. And like many people, I decided to, sign a contract and be there for a little bit. But I knew when I kind of went on full time, I'm like, this isn't going to last. And it didn't. It was 6 months. So I should have listened to myself and maybe found something different. I've known when I've met people before that they were going to be trouble, but I didn't quite sort of like just block them out and move on. And so then they ended up causing trouble. Trust your instincts, whether it's an environment that you step in and you think, or it's a person. You'll get better as you start to listen to it. Once I started to heed my intuition, there was one time where I shook the hand of a coworker and a guide whispered in my ear the word trouble. That's it, like trouble. And I was like, ooh, and that person did cause trouble, but I was ready for it and I wasn't surprised. So you can then get to the point where you're actually picking up on it and you can in real time prepare yourself. So trust your instincts and your heart. And if you don't like it, don't do it or get out. And that's basically what this night is saying. There are other paths in front of you. We have a little albino peacock there, which is also kind of going along with the message that things aren't always as they seem. Sometimes being different is absolutely what you need to do. So if this is your moment to stand out, even if it upsets other people, who cares? This is your time to shine, right? Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm just looking at chat. Looks like everybody's okay. Oh, some of you are just behind in the feed. So yeah, keep me posted if anything else happens. Okay, so let's look at the recent past here. So we have the 10 of Cups here in the reverse state. So what we're looking at right now for many of you is an understanding here that you exactly what I just said, you don't have to give in to peer pressure. So 10 of Cups in the upright position is lovely. It's basically the universe saying you are loved, you're supported, what you seek is coming through. Sometimes though, friends, family, and colleagues can come through and put pressure on us to fit the mold that they want us to fit. And that's not necessarily what's going to be important this week. This is also just an encouragement to come out of your shell. Like when I get a Hermit card reversed or when I get a Love card reversed, if you allow yourself to go into new situations, you may be surprised at how much people resonate, react, or support you. So just allow yourself to be seen, right? Relationships may go faster than you think or want this week. So things could get more serious. Someone could really want more of your time than you're able or willing to give, or you may want more than they're comfortable with. Don't force things, allow them to go at the speed that they need to go, and communicate your discomfort if they're going too fast. If they're going too slow, I think patience is really what's key here, because we're just looking at 7 days. Other than that, don't be afraid to reach out to people in your life that you love for support. They're there, but sometimes maybe it's difficult to allow them in or to receive that. All right, let's look at the crowning card here. We have the 9 of Wands in the crowning position. We have, in this situation, a resilient card. And I see in chat some of you are having a difficult week. This is the card of surviving, right? So let's focus on the messages right now and just kind of take it in. That's why we're here. This card is saying that much like a cat with 9 lives, this is not the end. Sometimes things feel like they're the end, whether it's a rejection, whether it's a challenge with your health, a conversation that you had with a loved one. Sometimes it can just feel like that avalanche. But this card is the comeback kid. This is someone who is saying, I'm here, I'm still standing, and I'm not going to let this thing take me under. I'll pull the traditional card while we're talking. A couple of notes when it comes to health. This is a week where it may be difficult to concentrate, so take breaks. You may be feeling migraine, stress, or persistent thoughts, so talk to someone if you need to. You may also just feel like you're exhausted. So I really think at the end of the day, like self-care, vacation if you have it, any sort of even body work that you can get done, like massage therapy, all of that can help. So you can see even better in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card. He's survived, but he's like the wounded soldier. He's been through it. And it takes a minute for the other sort of wounds to heal. So everything in due time, time heals everything, okay? We see a card of success. This is why I want you to be perseverant, not to give up. 3 of Wands reversed. So this is basically saying not only can things happen, but they are happening in real time. In this particular deck, we see the person going to the destination. Normal 3 of Wands, they're on the hill, they're looking out. The ships are in the distance coming in and they're waiting for that. This card is a little bit more active, and the reversal of this is saying don't be afraid to reach out. It's okay to show interest in anything. Sometimes if you play it too cool, people don't know where you stand. So whether it's an interview, a date, or you're just trying to kind of like manifest something, it's good to let people know that this is what you want, right? And look in different places. What you're trying to find may be coming through in a slightly different shape at a slightly different time, and that may still be exactly what you need if you're open to it. So open yourself up to receive things sooner, but possibly in a different shape or form than you initially thought. That's pretty much everything that I've seen here. Don't turn your back on something that you've worked hard to create. Don't give up, basically, is what I'm seeing with this as well. It's typically a card of instant manifestation, if not sort of soon to be manifestation. So like, I don't want you to walk away from something when you're this close. Same message with this, okay? All right, so looking now at you. Second time we've gotten a relationship and love card reversed. So now we have the 10 of Pentacles. What I like about this is it actually shows that some of you have been through some challenges in work, in personal development, in finances. And the rainbow, this is back into the special topic message here, clearing the karma. You're clearing the karmic energy of both relationships like marriage and then also job or money that maybe your family and ancestors had challenges with. So if there were blocks in either area or both, you're the change. You're the moment where you get to rearrange things, and you're going to say, we're going to do it my way this time, and I'm not going to repeat history. So better luck with money, better luck with relationships, and a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's a path, though. So you may be anywhere on this path, including the ace moment, even though we're looking at a 10. So you might be at the very beginning, but it's saying don't give up. Keep pushing, and know that block by block, brick by brick, you're sort of building your own foundation. And it is different than what was karmically happening. Don't sell yourself short. Don't underestimate your power and your potential, okay? All right. I think all of that's important. Let me see if there's anything else that we want to talk about on this one. Oh, there could be a negotiation coming through for some of you. So if there is a negotiation here, I think the key thing here is to make sure that you speak up, that you have a seat at the table, and again, ask the questions that you need to about finances or money, even if that was something that you didn't, you didn't sort of like see your family do. So using the throat chakra to kind of bring up worth and self-worth, etc. Okay, we saw this come through for in the elemental forecast. Now it's coming through for everybody in the environment. Someone or something is showing itself for its true colors, as we talked about. And in this moment, it's going to be really, really important for you to see it and trust it. When something difficult is presented to you, even if you don't like it, it's often there for your higher interest, for your better good. So if someone disappoints you, if someone talks behind your back, if you see something on a contract that you don't like and you think to yourself, why am I seeing this now? It's because you're ready now to see it, and you can free yourself from those people, places, and things because they didn't have your sort of higher interest. This is also just about not putting unnecessary constraints or boxes around potential. So I like to remind folks that just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And this would be my argument for many skeptics on things like everything in the world. We have to have curiosity and openness, including in science, that they're constantly asking questions. They're constantly looking at things. And we realize that the sun doesn't rotate around the earth rotates around the sun. The earth isn't flat, the earth is round. That the universe isn't just our solar system or the Milky Way, but it's infinitesimally large. So we have to keep understanding that just because we don't understand it today doesn't mean that we won't tomorrow. Just because you don't see it today doesn't mean that something isn't possible tomorrow. And even in science and math, which is very practical and grounded. They're constantly trying to solve for problems and ask questions that other people may feel uncomfortable with. So push the boundaries, and push beyond disbelief or the unknown, okay? Hopes, fears, and opportunities, creating better balance in your life. 6 of Pentacles. Say no if you need to. Simply put, this is a card that I look to for validation that you have what you need to go to the next level. So you're on the right path. Things are starting to balance out, but it's important not to overextend yourself. You can't help everyone at once. You can't be everything to everyone at once. You're going to have to disappoint a few people in order to get what you need. And sometimes you have to say no, even when you wish you could say yes to everyone. By doing that, it actually shows that your time and energy is valuable, that you don't just, sort of like spend it without thinking. And it's going to ironically make you in more demand, which puts your value up there. So that discernment is going to be in your benefit. Okay. The 8 of Pentacles coming through once again. Beautiful 8 of Pentacles here. A very sort of artistic vibe in this one. So I was talking about this. I think this also came through in the elements, or it might have came through for one of, actually no, it was the 7-day forecast. I think it was Saturday. So with this one, we see you putting your thoughts onto paper. So you might be signing a contract. You may also just be drafting something up for review. This can be a business plan. This can be a pitch. It can be an idea. It can be an invitation. Whatever it is that you want to do, by writing it, you're actually bringing it into the realm of earth, pentacles, money, opportunity. People have to see it to wrap their head around it. So that's basically what we're seeing here, is the ability to articulate or illustrate or record something and take it to the next level. This is also, again, for those of you that want to take a class or start something new, this card is saying absolutely now is the time to do so. Let's go ahead and expand your forecast. We're going to take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to get it started with health, mind, body, and spirit. And the energy here for health is the B spirit, prosperity. We like that. So anything that you decide to put your energy into when it comes to your own sort of general health, we actually start to see growth and movement there. So a change in exercise, a change in sleep, a change also maybe even in your meditation practice. There's prosperity that comes from that. We also could be looking at some seasonal allergies, because these are pollinators, and I'm reading this for health. So be mindful of pollen. I have air purifiers in the main rooms in my house. I have 2 or 3 in my house, plus a dehumidifier. Especially while I'm in this place, I'm trying to find a new place, but there's been some mold issues here. So very mindful of allergens. So if you're feeling any of those, definitely take care of that. And honey actually is an interesting sort of thing. I think that if you've moved to a new place and you have some allergies, if you get honey that, the bees have pollinated in that area, can kind of help mute the allergies a bit. But obviously work with a dietitian, work with a doctor. I am neither. I'm a tarot reader. All right, we're going to be looking at the energy here and help you out with anything that might be sort of clamping down on your ability to be all you can be, no pun intended, with your health. Okay, so with this, pay attention to what's going on in your body. 8 of Swords, 2 of Swords tend to be the fear stepping in, and sometimes you're like, if I ignore it, maybe it will go away. No, if you deal with it now, it's going to be more optimal. So whatever it is that's making you feel a little unnervous or just uncomfortable, get it checked out. Always better to check it out. And that's the main message here. Also connected, as you can tell, to seeing and hearing, because this goes around the eyes and the ears. We also can see, just in general, there may be some tightness in the body or a feeling of being closed in. So if you are feeling like you just need to get out from, if you're claustrophobia is kind of what's coming through, but it could just be, again, stagnation in the work or the home environment. Taking a day trip, getting outside, breathing some fresh air, allergies notwithstanding, all of that is good. Okay, let me see what else is coming through for health. We talked about headaches, migraines, and just, again, not overthinking. All of that is coming through with the 9 of Wands. Emotional sensitivity, which is probably exacerbated from pressure at home and pressure at work. That's where I actually am seeing some of that. Some of you want to retreat because there's a lot of pressure there. So finding outlets, finding support groups to kind of help you if you're feeling a lot of energy in those areas. Otherwise, it's pretty good here. This can be a card that is connected to, as I'm looking at her writing all this down, like prescriptions. So obviously make sure that if there's been a change in your health for the positive or something that is not optimal, what you want to do is make sure that what you're eating and whatever sort of medication you might be taking, all of that has been balanced out and there's not any sort of repercussions or things that are kind of fighting against each other. Make sure it's all brought into check. That's it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to wealth. Pretty good overall. I think it's mostly allergies and being sort of productive and proactive and checking up on anything that you feel like you need to fix. All right, moving on to the energy of wealth. We have study and learning. So this card and this card are connected. Some of you might be going back to school, that's why it was reversed, or back to work, or starting something new in any of these categories. Thank you, angels, for allowing me to see that every day is a learning day. Also, we had the Five of Cups that came through in the 7-day forecast. This is also about learning from the past, sort of like being very present in this moment and figuring out what you want to do next. So there's always a silver lining if you look hard enough. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to wrap your head around it, but we are being encouraged to do that right now. All right, let's look at this in 3 categories. Those that have a job, those that are seeking employment, and then I'll look at students and retirees. If you have a job, I'm drawn back to the bone card here, which reminds me of death or change. So for some of you, you're at a point now where maybe you've accomplished everything that you set out to do. These are 2 cards of completion, 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. So you may have reached that sort of high point and you're like, I need to try something different. And this is saying, don't turn your back on something that you maybe in the past that you thought, well, I'll do this one day. So maybe for some of you, it is going back to school and following a passion. Some of you, it may be if you were passed over for a promotion or for another opportunity, you kind of knock on the door and say, I want to revisit this path. I'm not done with this. So it's breathing new life into something that you just sort of put to the side and waited for another day. That other day is now, basically. We see creative energy coming through connected to success. So speaking up, speaking with your heart, and leading the charge here is really important. But creative expression, I feel like if you're not getting it here, then finding an outlet for that, or maybe finding a place where that creativity is respected, that's also something that I'm picking up on. For those that want to stay, you're happy. It looks like you are saving up for something and you're making good progress. Continue to do that. I know that it's not always easy to sometimes to wait for that, that magic number in your savings account to come through, but we're seeing it eventually come to fruition. The challenge for everybody, whether you want to stay or you want to go, is this feeling of appreciation or lack thereof. So you may feel like you're blending in, like you're looking at your boss or your coworkers and it's like, you don't see me, you don't recognize, you don't see the creative input that I have, or I don't feel like I'm a part of this team, or I'm not making as much as the other people. So we're looking at karmic opportunities here. And we were talking about the throat chakra. It's time to start communicating goals, questions around these sort of things. Say, hey, is it, what's necessary to make this happen? And then it's a very proactive, non-combative thing. It's saying, I'm ready for this. We've talked about it. Let's make it happen, and set it up in that sort of affirmative way. Okay. Otherwise, it looks pretty good. There's nothing here that, aside from this maybe feeling of being underappreciated, I'm not seeing significant blocks here. So that's good. If you're looking for work, can you find it? Yes. This may not be the sort of like forever job. And you may have to also weigh 2 opportunities in front of you. 6 of Pentacles, it could be short on pay. There could be almost everything that you want, but one component, maybe like distance or travel or something like that, isn't what you want. So you're weighing the alternatives, you're figuring out if you want it. If you're at the negotiation table, you can get more. I do like that. One of the ways to find something is to retrace your tracks and try it again. So if there was a job that you applied to and it was filled already, and now there's a position open, this is about trying it a second time because you're coming through it richer and more experienced. I think you have a better shot this time of getting something if you want to. You don't have to do this alone. There's a chance here. We have an entrepreneurial card. We have an investment card. This is partnership. This is partnership. So if you're willing to walk that path of partnership, you could actually build a business with somebody. It's going to be important to talk about money and to get everything ironed out detail-wise when it comes to contracts. I need to move that because that card keeps falling. This is also saying be wary of working with friends and family because we see both here. And we have this sort of like, is this worth it? It may not be worth it. And these cards are reminding you of the sort of intricacies and challenges involved with friends and family. And even though sometimes I would say go straight to those for connections, I think it's better in this case for you to look in different directions. You may even be wanting to break free from something that friends and family want you to do. Lots and lots of energy around creative arts. So some of you may be deciding to go back to school for a creative degree like design or something like that. And if the budget allows and time allows, that definitely is part of that. Okay, for those of you that are students, of course, we had a very special message that came through right at the beginning of this reading, which was not everyone is a good test taker, right? This is even good for those of you that might be applying for jobs. It's not about being perfect. Just tell your story. And I think too much pressure, thank God. I mean, I went to school a long time ago, but like late 90s. So there wasn't as much pressure on college essays then. Now it's like do or die. It's like everything. And I think that what I was seeing in dreams is that it's not so much about that. It's just about like conveying what your thoughts. So really let go of the pressure that's here, because you had all the tools, you even had the answers in front of you. It was just a matter of channeling them. So I feel like whatever it is that you want to do, whatever the next step is for you, mom, dad, teacher, or yourself could be the only thing that's getting in the way. There's something where you're just doubting what's already right in front of you. So that's step one here. And I kind of see it here with the Three of Wands. You can go down whatever path you want. This is your life after all, right? So I have so many songs going through my head. There's a song by Billy Joel, "This Is My Life," and then "Go Your Own Way" from Fleetwood Mac. But all of that stuff is true. It is your own life. You're living it for yourself. You have to go down your own particular way. All right, so let's see here what's going on. Students, you might be overcommitted. Step back from anything that isn't adding to the overall experience, isn't making you feel, sort of, if you're not learning from it or you're getting too stressed out from it, pull back from it. The extracurricular isn't worth it. You are supported and people are proud of you. But again, sometimes that pride and that sort of the wishes, they end up being projections. So you have to feel like it's what you want. So just really tuning into your heart. What is your desire? What is your wish? What is your plan? Take some time to really explore that for yourself and map it out. I do see success. There's no card in here that shows failure. This is really sort of like potentially for some of you in the past. So if there was a setback or if something didn't go as planned, like I don't see that in the future. I see fulfillment and learning, which is what I'm looking for students. Just don't get pressured into something that you don't like. Okay? All right. So now let's focus on retirees. Some of you are feeling this sense of now what? Lost. The Eight of Swords can feel like you're even blindsided by the whole experience of of retirement. And students can feel this too, like because you're just arbitrarily entering into something new, which means like sometimes unprepared. You can make this whatever you want. You can continue to do some part-time work. You can socialize. You can sit and watch TV. Whatever you want to do with retirement, it's up to you. You get to write the script. I do think it's important to keep your mind occupied, though. That's what this card is showing. And this could be teaching, creating a curriculum. This could be meeting up with people, like-minded individuals, whether it's a meditation class, a yoga class, a hiking class, you know, who cares? It feels like it would be really great to connect with others. And that actually is the main energy that's coming through with this. Finding your tribe, finding your people. And as the bones here just fell on the floor, for some of you, there may be a need to focus a little bit more on health, physical health and well-being, okay? All right, so let's go ahead now and turn this now into the love component here. We have Lemurian code seeds or seed codes here, and it says embracing sensibility, uniqueness, living with grace. That's everything that I just said. The uniqueness piece especially. Take the Lemurian piece out, focus on what we have here. We have sensitivity with the King of Cups at the center. We just talked about the importance of being unique. Living with grace, that might be the difficult part because we're in this unique period of time where, particularly over the past, feels like the past 5 or 6 years, communication has not, it's become somewhat weaponized, and we need to sort of move back into encouraging energy and now we're looking at relationships. So really finding ways to lift each other up rather than point a finger or take a cheap shot, which is what happens a lot in news, entertainment, politics. It just feels like it's people constantly saying, who can say the meanest thing fastest, and it's not really what we need to focus on. So elevating communication and leading with compassion in relationships, that's the takeaway here. Let's look at this in 3 components. Those in a relationship, seeking in a relationship, or happily single. If you're in a relationship, there's a lot of love coming through. There is a maturity gap here. It could just be a maturity gap, like not so much in age, but experience here, because we have a king and a knight. Queen and a knight would have been closer, but a king and a knight, sometimes there's someone that does the boss work here or the pushy work, and then the other person kind of follows suit. I feel like there's a chance to sort of like even the playing field a little bit, equal communication. You do have 2 of the best cards for relationships. It just feels like you might be putting pressure on yourselves to, again, fit some, oh, look at that. I've never seen them side by side. The rainbow connects. This is the family that matters. This is the unit that matters. In both of these cards, we see people that have each other's back, that have their best interests at heart. So spend some time connecting, reconnecting, and making sure that you're not so focused on the external world, the external expectations. This core unit is what matters. We are seeing, for some of you, maybe expansion of family, because we can see the baby or the babies and then the house here. So some of you might be thinking of doing that. Relationships could get really serious really quickly. And if you think you've met the one, this is pretty good. I've never had them in this position in the spread so I could see the rainbow connect. Connections are happening this month, folks, and it could get serious quickly. It may be in an inconvenient time. So what? That's how the universe works sometimes. You're a survivor. You've pulled a survivor in as well. I think the main thing here is leadership and voice, because there's no reason that you should feel like your voice doesn't matter or that you're not equal in the relationship. That's the karmic or the familial or the sort of energetic opportunity here, is to see the equity, the equalness that the 2 of you have, and create better balance if there is an inequity, if something is imbalanced. Excuse me. And speak up if your throat needs to be heard or be seen. Definitely looking at energy around money. This month is going to be one of the most important things in relationships. Validating your partner, saying, I love you, I see you, I appreciate you, making sure that if you're not getting the validation that you need, that you bring that to their attention as well. Otherwise, very manageable for those in a relationship. For those of you that are looking for love this month, here's what I see. Yes, it can come through. We see success, we see water sign, possibly Pisces because of the pendant. We have 2 cards of commitment and connection. In fact, this is typically a card of marriage. So whether it's whether it's a long-term relationship just getting serious, or it's someone that you just met that wants to start a family, I see this sort of like, there's a grounded or trustable energy here, trustworthy, I should say. The main thing that I'm seeing in your own life is some of you are really busy with work or activities. Some of you are still doing a little bit of internal healing. You may not just have the time and energy to commit to someone that is ready. Someone may already have a family too, because we see the children in this 10 of Cups here, or they want a family really fast. And if that's not what you're looking for, that's also a reality check. But yeah, it's a great week to get out and meet people. Network, mix and mingle. This is the time to do it. As you get out there, I wouldn't be surprised even at the grocery store if people come up and talk to you. It's a good time to be out there. All right, moving on to those that are happily single. For you, the big opportunities here are in personal development. We see something coming to fruition, a project, an idea, an opportunity. There may be more than one person knocking at your door asking for your time and energy, and you have to be discerning. Something is very, very close to the finish line. So if there's something that you want to do, keep pushing through on that. I feel like you have a good chance of seeing something happen on that front. Some of you may be buying a house right now. And I mean, this could happen for anyone, but it's coming through, especially for those that are single. If you're a first-time buyer, really weigh it out. Make sure that you're not getting into a mortgage that is too costly or putting too much pressure on you. Sometimes just the pressure to own a house because it's what everyone else did, it isn't necessary. So, do it because you're ready financially and mentally and energetically, because it's a responsibility. It takes a lot of time and effort. So that's the last message that came through. Let's move on to destiny. We have the King that came through. So this is just the time to take action. King of Pentacles energy, especially because that almost looks like a pentacle at the center. But yeah, you have what it takes to make this happen. Don't second guess your leadership, your capability, or your ability. It's all coming through very loud and clear. Let's take a moment just to look at this spread and see from the perspective here of like, what's the garbage that needs to be swept out? What's the stuff that wants to come in? And then we'll pull a card specifically looking at this. So I think the biggest thing that needs to be dealt with is just not ignoring stuff and seeing things as they truly are. If you can do that, you have it was kind of like when we had the key in front of that student, like everything is going to start to get a lot clearer, your next step. It's okay to push for what you want, fight. This is a card of fighting. This is a card of accomplishing what you set out to accomplish. I see a lot of energy around people, but there has to be this feeling that you're not stuck in an old mold. So your ability to sort of like break free and redefine what a relationship or what success looks like or feels like for you. Okay? Specifically now, and I'm going to use the black and white deck here. Let's ask Spirit, what's the karma that might be stuck or needs to be cleared? What's the energy? Karma, energy. Okay. So in the karma, we have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups, of course, is an opportunity for many of you to basically recalibrate. We had this earlier. It's coming through one more time. We can't control a mistake or a setback or a failure in the past, but we can learn from it. So it bears repeating because the card came through again, that things are better than they seem. When you take those 3 cups out, we have 2 cups, the Two of Cups, partnership, friendship, love. So it's about focusing on what's here right now, and it's not easy. It's so much easier to focus on what you lost or what isn't there. But the universe is reminding you just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not possible or that it won't come through. The energy that wants to come through is love, friendship. So we actually see partners and opportunities. And in this Three of Cups, you're one of the 3 people in the Three of Cups. So you may have more than one option in front of you. And it's a matter of just recognizing that, there are options, there are opportunities, there are pathways opening up. The reversal of this can be Mean Girls, the movie we're really talking about. So if there's this feeling of not fitting in to a family, to a group, to sort of like a clique, that's okay. You're going to find or create your own family, your own sort of connection, and you're going to avoid things like gossip right now. And don't worry about the pressure of those groups, because the other big message this week is really about flipping the script. Okay? All right. I don't think I've asked for this yet. So by the way, if you enjoy what you see here, please feel free to follow me on social media. And more importantly, since you're right here, right now, make sure that you like and subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps me know that you enjoyed this, and then you'll be informed of future videos when they come through. We're not going to do a singing bowl, but I'll do a brief meditation today, and then we'll take a look at your final card. So take a moment, please, close your eyes, and we're going to use the energy of the rainbows, which we saw earlier. So focusing just on your breath for a moment, I want you to imagine that maybe you're at the top of the hill, there's clouds around you, kind of like there is sometimes in the morning at dawn. And with each breath that you take, imagine that you are pushing those clouds further at bay. And slowly, sort of breath by breath, the sun starts to break through the clouds. I want you to just focus on that for a moment. In this sunlight, allow yourself to be seen, to be known, to be loved, and feel the light from the sun wrapping its rays and its energy all around your body and activating anything that feels like it needs to be activated, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, healing anything that is needing that sort of sense of renewal or healing. It could be your heart, it could be a relationship, it could be a body part, whatever it is that needs to be healed, allow the sun to go there. And now, almost like a dragon, imagine that you could inhale the sun rays and also exhale them. If you need to cough, do it. I feel like I need to as I'm doing the meditation. As you're breathing, as you're coughing, allow for that old energy to exit your body and feel now that there's a healing, especially in the throat chakra, that you can almost feel this light and brilliance and resplendence coming through. And as you start to look around you, you can see that you're underneath the rainbow that we saw in those cards. And now is a chance for healing and opportunity to come through. So really set the intention this week on what it is that you can see action or growth in. Let's take 3 breaths together. Then I want you to open your eyes and let's take a look at the final question. So 1 breath, just feeling this sense of worthiness. So think to yourself, I am worthy. And then think to yourself, I am ready. And then end it with, I am capable. Opening your eyes now, focusing on a final question. Let's see what the universe has as an answer to this question. Anything that you still need some clarity on. Okay, we have the Queen of Cups. She came through in the reverse state. The Queen of Cups is really about embodying all the things that we just talked about, feeling that sense of self-worth, feeling that sense of self-love. As a yes or no, this is a not yet. There's something about whatever path is in front of you or question that you're asking where it doesn't satisfy you. It doesn't resonate in the heart chakra, which is something that we've been talking quite a bit about today. So if you don't like it, it's okay to not like it. Let someone or something know sooner than later, like I'm not interested in this job, or I'm not interested in this relationship, or I need this in order to proceed. Just talk about your desires. That might be all that's needed to bring it to a yes. Yes, if we can do this. And then see if they're willing to meet you halfway, okay? Take care of yourself. This is a great week for anything that kind of helps you heal. So whether that's healing the body, healing the heart, healing the mind, that's the main energy. Okay. Thanks everybody for your time, for your support. Let's take a couple moments here to also give gratitude to everybody that showed up today. Thanks to Dakota for his assistance today as well in moderating. I'm going to start off with the newest members first, and then we'll kind of radiate out from there. Okay, so welcome back to all of the following. It looks like we got a lot of gifted ones today. Thank you guys. I'm scrolling and it's a long list, so I'm going to do my best to say first names. and apologies for any mispronunciations. And sometimes it's cut off a little bit. So the first one is not in English, but I can see the first part of it, Hiro, and then it's cut off. So I'll just say that portion, Hero, thank you. Angel, Mystery, or Mystery, I get it. Karen, Del Maguey, I think. Monica, KV, Makobi, Alice, Lily, Lalitha, Christy, Sapalina, C. Rose, Sabrina the Witch, Sunflowers, Paula, Rafaela, and Enzo. Thanks, guys. Welcome and welcome back to everybody there. Let's take a moment to say thanks to those who gave back with gifting as well. So give me a second here. And let's see who gifted some memberships and who celebrated anniversaries as well. So Lucy, thank you for gifting 1 membership. Colette for gifting 5. That's awesome. Let's see. I gifted a few, so welcome to everybody that was gifted there. Carmen, congrats on 19 months of membership. And I'm glad that you enjoyed this. Sophie, thanks for gifting 5. And let's see. I think I got everybody else. We just got a new member here, Angel. And I think I already welcomed Rafaela. Okay, great. Now let's move on to super stickers and super chat. All right, so for the supers today, let's see who gave back a little bit. By the way, thank you. This is helping me as I get ready to produce another podcast, which will come out in a few months. I put all the money back into the channel, so I appreciate it. All right, so today, here's who gave back. Lucy, Rosie, Charlotte, Robert. Hey, Robert, thanks for that kind amount too. I appreciate it. Jeannie and Amitabha. I appreciate all of you guys. All right, and let me see here if there was anything else worth mentioning. Let's see. Charlotte, thanks for your 5th super. Any other anniversaries? No, I think that's it. Enzo, hey buddy, thanks for the 19 and congrats on getting a membership for the month as well. Okay, I think that's everything for today. So to wrap this up, let's just kind of bring everything into focus here. First of all, I hope you enjoyed today's reading. Again, if you'd like to get reminders, give me a follow on social media. You can follow me on all major platforms at Nicholas Ashbaugh. Remember, there tend to be imposters from time to time, so I don't offer private readings. I don't use direct messages to offer products or services. If you see that, block and report. Stay safe. Again, thanks to everybody who did give back here through super stickers, super chats, and memberships. That's the best way. I can see it in real time. I can say thank you. It's a lot of fun, so I appreciate it. Let's see if there's anything else. I think that's it. Thank you. Have a great week ahead. Tomorrow I'll be dropping a new video, and I think that's all that I have to say. All right. For now, just wishing you all the best. Take care and have a great one, folks. Bye-bye.